Hello, Barmy Badger Army.
Hey, Badger Army.
Happy 2020.
Yay.
Indeed. So we've had some fun milestones on the show. Obviously, this has got to be our third year doing the On the Bench, hasn't it? And at least, and we've now obviously got to the 30th episode of Nick's travel vlog. So that's 30 vlogs in the can.
And to celebrate, there's another one coming soon.
Yay! Lots and lots of cool stuff. So thank you, Nick, for doing those for me.
You're
my
welcome.
Roving reporter of the show. So thank you very much, sir. But yes, we've got lots to talk about today. We're going to touch on Nikkie tutorials, one of my missus' favourite YouTubers, and we're going to talk about remakes of remakes. And we are also going to talk about films that we're looking forward to this year. Thank you, Viper and Sai, for those suggestions. Right now, so let's touch on Nikkie tutorials. Nick, while we remember, controversial topic, we like them. So let's talk about, yes we do. Let's talk about those in the media. So your thoughts on Nikkie and her situation, Nick?
I didn't really know much about her, but obviously I heard this situation about her, someone threatening to out the fact that she was transgender, and she took control and outed herself,
which is brilliant. I think that's a really good thing to do.
She's actually put a real positive spin on it, because I think she's taken control of the situation, you know, and she's been upfront and honest about it.
I think that's fantastic.
And she's actually had a really good reaction.
Yeah, exactly. You know,
from people who said that. I mean, to be honest with you, I think a lot of people. There's a lot of people out there who talk about. I mean, I've met about 6 or 7 transgender people in my time, and I actually consider myself quite fortunate for that, because you know, for me, it's just, you know, to me, it's, you know, after a while, you're just able to look beyond that, and, you know, and see the person for who they are.
Exactly.
You know, if they're a good person to be around, if they're not such a good person to be around, you know, and that's nothing to do with gender identity. You know, that's purely to do with them as
persons. Yeah, exactly, persons. But yes, them as people.
Not persons, no.
Persons.
A person.
A person. But yes, exactly. So that's very strange how that works, isn't it? But I am the same. I'm really proud of the way your thoughts there, Nick, because I'm the same. I treat people for how they act towards me rather than their gender or anything like that. I don't really believe in labels and things like that. I really just see people as, if they're genuine, if they're lovely, if they're nice to me and my family, then I'll be nice to you and love you too. Do you know what I mean? And you can look past and look forward and look into people's personalities rather than focusing on, you know, them as, you know, what they decide to do with them personally. And there's an old-fashioned thing that obviously my dad and everyone used to say, you know, if no one does any harm to you, then, you know, it's none of your business.
You know, it's kind of like, we should look at it as, you know, why should someone's, you know, identity affect them? I mean, I understand that we use labels. You know,
that's right.
We have labels, and even, you know, and sometimes we'll use labels to say that we don't have labels.
That's right. Yes, exactly. No, I get you.
The thing is, it's like labels are much more vague, you know, and they say a lot less about a person than you might realise.
Because you are literally just going, right, you're that, you're that, you're that, you're that, and you're that, and I'm not that. I'm whatever the heck I want to be, and I'm proud of that. And there you are, and I'm sure you are as well, Nick. As a confident asexual male, you're happy with that. But that is a label, which is a shame. But you are happy with that. I mean, positive labels and negative labels. Now that's a whole different topic, and feel free to talk about that in the comments, and we'll try and talk about that with you. But I don't really like labels. I don't really like them because I think you're shoehorning yourself into a thing. And what are your thoughts, Nick?
As I said, you know, to an extent, you know, we'll always have labels. To an extent, we need labels, you know, to be able to explain the person we are. But the truth is, you know, people are made up of lots of different labels.
Exactly.
And I think that's, you know, it's like, you know, it's kind of like who you are, you know, age, you know, not age, not just gender. Hair color can be a label.
Yeah, most definitely.
No hair can be a label.
Everyone says, oh, ginger and all that.
Yeah.
Sometimes people come out with that joke
your
now.
Your job can be a label.
Most definitely. You've got a bit of pepper going on there. Now.
Yeah, it's something. I mean, labels will always have, and there's people say kind of like, it's people. I heard one person say once, it's like people. Non-binary people saying they don't have labels, but non-binary is a label.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I don't really have a lot of experience with them, so we won't go into that detail. But ultimately, labels say a lot less about you than you realise.
That's it, isn't it? I think if you shoehorn yourself into this thing, it's like saying, I only like horror films. That's a label because you're labelling yourself as a horror fan.
And also, it's probably inaccurate.
Exactly. I like lots of different stuff, and I think that's important to embrace. Lots of diversity. I mean, we're in 2020 now, so it's perfectly fine to go, I just want to do this, and this, and this. And as long as you're not harming anyone or upsetting anyone, except the snowflakes, ignore them, it's fine. Anyway, so any more thoughts?
Snowflakes is a dangerous label.
Ah!
Yeah. I don't like that label because it's basically used as an insult. It's something people throw at each other, and you could argue that that anyone who has empathy can be a snowflake because they're pointing out like bullying or something like that.
Well, there's
a difference between. I mean, there's a difference between going overboard and pointing out actually that's probably not the right thing to say.
I like that. That's very good.
So preferably do not mention the term snowflake in the comments. I think it's just, to me it just negates your argument. It just kind of turns into like name calling and bullying, and that's ultimately not going to solve anything.
No, you're better off getting on with everyone, trying to understand them, trying to understand what makes them tick. You're better off doing that.
Exactly.
Right, next topic before we run out of time.
Yes.
Right, so remakes of remakes. We're going to talk about that, Nick. Recently, they've announced The Grudge again.
It's just come out, hasn't it?
It's just come out. And not being funny, we've had The Grudge 1 and 2 with Sarah Michelle Gellar and the other cast I don't remember, which is terrible, but she's the main star. And of course, there was the third DVD film. So that's 3 films in a series of a Japanese remake. And now they've gone like, let's do it again. So they're remaking a remake.
So when was the first Grudge film out? Was it the early 2000s?
Yes, and obviously the Japanese one was more 1998 or something. Quote me if I'm wrong. I'm just picking a number out of my head. But they've literally taken something that was a remake and gone, yeah, we're going to remake a remake.
The thing is, it's like we all remember it first time round, and I mean there was actual talk ages ago that they were going to remake another Sarah Michelle Gellar film, I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Yeah, now I would love a remake of I Know What You Did Last Summer. I actually would, yeah. Because
I mean this was a few years ago when everyone still remembered the original.
Still remembered. See, if you're a horror fan, that's a joke because obviously the last film in the series was called
I'll Always Know What You Did Last Summer.
Yeah, I Still Know was the second one as well, so it's really bad. I would actually like a revamp of that series. I think if they remade it properly, put some thought into it, they can put the ideas that he's obviously supernatural in mind, like they did in the third one, which would be fantastic, and then obviously have him as the Jason-style serial killer as well. The problem with that series, where they went that he's human in the second one, he's human, third one, demonic killing machine, doesn't really work.
Yeah, so, but yeah, I mean, to me, it's kind of like the remake of The Grudge. It just largely seemed, I was like, what's the point? Why have they decided
to do that? Yeah, it doesn't really make any sense. There's no benefit to that at all.
And the other thing is, you can still access the Sarah Michelle Gellar films and probably the Asian original
from Tartan releases, I believe.
Yep, and you can probably still find them online and stuff like
Most
that.
Most definitely, or in your local CEX for 60p. So they're a bargain, and that's a newish film.
And it just seems like an odd thing, to drag people into the cinema to go and see.
Yeah, don't go and see it. Go and watch the Sarah Michelle Gellar ones.
If it
perfectly good.
If it was like a follow-up story.
That's exactly what I was going to touch on. If it was a sequel, a well thought out sequel, because not being funny, cinema, anyone's go. Some of the times with the Underworld films, they've done this, where they did 1 and 2, and the third one was a DVD only, and then the fourth one was at the cinema. So why can't they do that with this? You know, carry on and make a fourth one and a fifth one at the cinema. It's okay. You know, they should have done that. They should have made a well thought out sequel, connecting all the originals, and then go. They could even try and connect in the original Japanese ones and try and make it a proper dense, thought out story. But no, they decided to remake it. And I think that's the problem now. If all we end up with is remakes and superhero films, why would you go to the cinema? Oh dear.
So yeah, it's kind of, but yeah, it's. I think those kind of films, yeah, they just didn't seem. I mean, it didn't get good reviews. The Grudge, the new version, and you know, I think we all saw that coming.
Most definitely. And from what I've seen on Facebook, people are either like, "This is going to be fantastic," and then other people are like, "No, it's a pile of." I won't say the words, but yes. Moving on to another thoughts, which is what Sai and Viper and many others wanted us to talk about. Films we want to see this year. And I personally, and I know you're the same, you can't wait for Sonic the Hedgehog.
It will be very interesting to see how that turns out. I mean, you kind of feel like they dug a bit of a hole for themselves with the way Sonic looked originally, which was nothing like Sonic looks in the video games.
It looked like something that was actually in one of the other Sonic films, which was like one of the other Sonic games, which was like the werehog. Basically, it was like Sonic the Hedgehog as a werewolf. It pretty much looked like that with a few alterations, but we're not having that. We want the original Sonic the Hedgehog. We don't want some werewolf weird clone thing.
Exactly.
And it just would scare children.
Yeah.
You know, Badger Jr. was like, "That's not Sonic. What the heck's this? This is a Sonic film, but he looks nothing like Sonic, Daddy."
And bear in mind, Badger Jr. would have been 5 at this time.
Exactly,
point.
he was proper on the ball with
he's,
it.
You know, it says a lot that flipping 5-year-olds aren't going to sit back and take it.
Exactly. So well done to the film studio for doing it.
Yep.
And I'm a bit disappointed in Jim Carrey because he was like, "It's going to be great. You'll get what you'll get." No, Jim. The fans don't want a rubbish, half-cocked Sonic the Hedgehog. We want what we want.
Yes.
And it's amazing. This is probably, don't quote me on this, probably the first time in movie history that a studio has gone, "Actually, you're right, fans, we'll change it."
And good on them for that.
Exactly, it just shows you people power. I mean, I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing in the ongoing sort of futuristic type thing, because in years to come, does that mean if we don't like something in something, we just go, "No"? And then have to set it back.
It's the whole cancel culture issue.
I know, yeah.
You know?
And I do wonder if that's what they've done with the new Avengers game on the PS4. Because all the fans were like, "This looks pants. We don't like the visuals. Black Widow looks like Lord Farquaad. You know, Captain America looks like your muscly dad. It's just not good, you know." So they didn't like the visuals. So I think they've gone back and they've changed it, similar to what they've done with Sonic.
Wow.
So it's going to be interesting to see. People power is at a rise.
Yeah, and it goes to show that you can't, that you know, sometimes you can't just rush something out.
Exactly, it doesn't
in
work.
The hope it's, in the hope that it'll work. You know, it's you know, that we saw that with you know, lots of things that were complained about. You know, it's like these things actually sort of take time. You know, you can't just rush them out. You know,
No.
As, you know, we saw it with the continuity error in Cats.
That's right.
You know, and I'm trying to think where else it was. I mean, everyone thought the end of Game of Thrones was a bit hurried.
Exactly, because they just rushed it out and they wanted to just like move forward with it, because apparently a lot of the guys that are in it are now going to be connected in with Marvel. No, just wait, and fans want proper products. You know, we want the proper things. People have invested millions of pounds, millions of dollars, millions of other currencies in Game of Thrones and HBO and all these other TV series, all the merch, all the throne cons, all the different things you've gone to, and then you end up with a really, really crap ending.
Exactly. You know, I think so. I mean,
Looking at you, HBO.
yeah. So yeah, this is probably why. I mean, this is probably why Hollywood is having a bad reputation, and that was even before Ricky Gervais' speech at the Golden Globes.
It's because everyone just likes to roll things out. We don't all want remakes and superhero films. We want some good, diverse stuff. We want things that are going to keep us interested, keep us excited to go. You know, if there's nothing good on apart from Black Widow and Captain America Part 6, I'm getting tired of Marvel films all the time. Yeah, they're alright, and by the way, I'm going to say DC as well, I don't mean to shoehorn Marvel. I'm getting tired of superhero films just being at the cinema. I love them, don't get me wrong, I'm a big Marvel and DC fan, and Image, but I don't like the fact that they're just shoehorning them out. Originally, they said that they were going to have a break this year. There was going to be no Marvel films in 2020. And look what they've done. They've absolutely gone, right guys, back up the cash, beep, 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 beep. And they've chucked about 20 films out this year.
So what's coming out this year? So The Eternals is coming out.
The Eternals, Black Widow.
Yeah, I knew the Black Widow
You know,
film.
you've got the new Spider-Man film.
Another one, blimey.
Yeah, new Spider-Man film coming out. You've got Doctor Strange. You've got a new Thor. Plenty of stuff coming out this year and next year. They've literally loaded up a dumpster fire of cash to Chris Hemsworth, Tony Stark, you know, all these guys, and they've literally chucked our stuff in and gone, you know, go on guys, film some stuff for us. If it was me, I'd be the Joker and I'd be like, I'm only gonna burn my half. Guys, give it a rest. Too many films out at once ruins the experience.
It was like that with all the live-action Disney films we had out last year.
Too many. You know, you only have to wait a few months and they come on the telly. What's the point in even spending out the £20, £30 to go to the cinema if you have to wait a few months and you'll watch it on Now TV anyway? On that note, I've got to run. Thank you very much, Nick, for joining me on this week's On the Bench. And
You're
we'll
welcome.
see you soon. Bye for now, Barmy Badger Army.
Bye for now.
Keep safe, keep well. Much love, everyone. Don't forget to like, share, and of course, if you're new, subscribe to the show and say hi to me and Nick in the comments and join the debate. What do you think about today's topics? Let us know. Bye!